reaching heights, beach salad, reaching heights, beach salad with the works.
Folks, thank you for joining us on the Quisition, a battle of wits, the game where you can try to outthink the members of Philadelphia's premier comedy troupe, the N Crowd. My name is Mike, and I'll be your quizmaster tonight. If you want to play along at home, a pen and paper might come in handy, as would roses that are red, violets that are blue, chips that are crunchy, and your favorite micro brew. Let's go now to our scorekeeper. He's well renowned for his infinite integrity and boundless sagacity. It's Vegas the Incorruptible.
Hey, where's my video? Is it on?
Unless you've turned into
There it is.
There it is. What's going on, Vegas?
Hey, I got my favorite microbrew right here.
Oh, what do you got?
It's a rum and coke. I brewed it in my kitchen.
Wow, way to support local breweries.
I do like local breweries, though. We have a lot of them. And thank you, Squawk, for subscribing to our Twitch channel. That puts a few Bitcoin in our pocket.
Yes, thank you, Squawk. Now, Vegas, March 26th, today, is the birthday of Robert Frost and the death day of Walt Whitman. So it's the day Robert Frost was born and the day Walt Whitman died, not in the same year. So I thought we would have a show today all about poetry.
That sounds fantastic.
Are you a poetry fan, Vegas? Do you have a favorite poet?
I've read Robert Frost and Walt Whitman in high school and liked them at the time. Yep, those are
those are the ones.
In Horizon Zero Dawn, you can find haikus that robots wrote as collectibles. That was nice. Actually, it was humans that wrote them, but in the narrative of the game, robots wrote them.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just spoiling the game for me there, man. Like,
yeah, sorry.
Humans all
along. Yeah.
Well, I thought we would start off with some facts. We always start off the show with facts. So I have 3 facts about poetry.
Let's hear them.
All right. Fact number 1. Poet Amy Lowell once bought a stash of 10,000 cigars, claiming they helped her write. She also bought a stash of 10,000 typewriters, claiming they helped her smoke. So that is a fact, a verifiable fact.
Yeah, that sounds like a fact.
Here is fact number 2. Many have complained that poetry is a dying art, while others have pointed out that pop music lyrics are a form of poetry that is widely enjoyed by the masses. But to anyone who would doubt the profundity of that form of poetry, I just want to remind you to lick my neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack.
I take it back. That's my favorite poet.
And then Vegas, fact number 3 about poetry. First 5 syllables, then 7, then 5 again. That's haiku for you.
Get it.
Pretty sharp. All right. Well, we're going to be talking about poetry all throughout the show tonight. Let's meet the first of our poetical contestants. This is Rob. Rob, come on screen.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks, Squawk.
Yes, Squawk. Rob, you exist in N Crowd universe where all is N Crowd behind you.
I do, but I'm getting a little bit of interference, and I think I might have someone else ready to go.
The only thing that could be more N Crowd than an all N Crowd background.
So N Crowd. I heard that hat brought BJ some luck, so I figured I'd bring him with me.
It might be the hat. It might be.
Now, Rob, you're currently earning your MFA in a very unique program. Why don't you tell us about what you're studying right now?
I am currently in the final month and a half of my 3 years of study at the University of Connecticut's Puppetry Arts program.
Puppetry arts. That's awesome. So what does that entail? Learning to make puppets, learning to operate puppets? Like what exactly do you study up there?
Well, really, I just came up here because I didn't have enough material to do a stand-up set, and I wanted to go incredibly into debt to get a very esoteric skill. But the program does focus on kind of three main rails, which is the academic study in history, fabrication, and performance. So I've got a little bit of everything. I came up with some performance in my background, and I've focused a little bit more on the fabrication side and the academic side since I got here.
Do you have
Make
any?
that Jeff Dunham money. You can pay for 10 MFAs.
Every time you reference Jeff Dunham, a puppeteer dies inside. So ventriloquism is a thing, and he's made his little niche, and we let him have it. But if you're interested in stand up with puppets, look up Randie Feltface. That's a good Australian stand up / puppeteer. He's amazing.
Oh, cool.
Put that on my wall of Post-it notes.
Do you have any anything you can show off for us? Any puppets that you've worked on?
Sure. This is a little bit of a spoiler, but I have Grogu here if you want to see him.
As someone who's seen the show. Oh, he's so adorable.
Grogu.
Wow.
He's in process, and the green screen effect is messing it up.
Yeah.
But
What do you make that out of?
This was needle felted. I'll turn off the green screen effect for a second. I no longer have a green screen. There we go. All right. So he's needle felted, which is literally just taking wool roving and stabbing it over and over and over again, which friends from Philly know I have a good stab in hand. And then there's some wire armature to give the ears shape so they're posable. I can make him be more attentive or sad if I choose. And then a couple of beads for the eyes. Pretty simple. You can see that you can get a lot of detail out of it.
You made that alien face with your human hands?
Did. I also I learned wood carving, and I made this interpretation of Ron Swanson.
Oh, wow.
So I've got.
Oh, yeah, he looks like Conky, the puppet from Pee-wee's Playhouse.
A little bit. I was thinking, like, what if Easter Island was populated by my life goals? So he's got a little bit of that going on. The one that I'm plugging by being here tonight, I started a TikTok because I'm relevant with the kids, called Last Puppet Tonight. And we have John Oliver with us this evening. So anybody that wants to hear John Oliver go on a rant about something, you can go to the TikTok Last Puppet Tonight, and I will custom make you a rant in the style of John Oliver.
Oh, wow.
Rob, these all look like the things they're supposed to look like.
That's what the university education will give you.
That's shocking. I thought education was worthless.
I mean, to a point, but if you go for a really super specific thing that everyone makes fun of, it pays off.
Wow. Hey, maybe that degree in
Also,
basket weaving is worthwhile.
I really appreciate your total lack of confidence in me when I announced that I was doing this, that you thought what I would make would not look like what I set out to make.
Hey, if I expected anything from you, how could I be impressed now?
It's early in the game for you to be impressed. So.
Well, it's true, because I had a lot of confidence in you, and now I'm kind of underwhelmed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Well, our next contestant tonight is one of Rob's puppets. No, it's actually Leticia. Leticia.
Here she comes.
Hey!
There
Now,
she
Leticia,
is.
just to verify, you are not a puppet, right?
Not a puppet. Cannot hear you, but
Which
can
makes-
see your
My bad.
lips. Eh?
Not a puppet. Not a puppet. That not a good example of not being a puppet. Okay, but not a puppet. That just was unfortunate. Unfortunately timed.
Well, Leticia, seeing as you just were speaking without a voice, it's ironic that I want to ask you about a class you teach called Creative Voice.
That's right. That's right. I teach a class called Creative Voice on Zoom. And I remember to turn my mic on. And also, I teach a private session, and then I teach a session that I live stream on Twitch every Thursday at I remember the time, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the same time every Thursday, and I bring together different artists of like I've had like people who are painters, people who are poets, people who are sketch writing, stand-ups, video game designers, pixel art, like there's so many photography, there's so many different and musicians and just so many different types of art that like we share a lot of common feelings with, because art is so personal. So it's a class that focuses on being positive within our own work, so that we focus more on like the process of it and appreciating our own individual process, because there's a lot of things out there that only focus on what the end product is, and it makes a lot of people that are not good at end product but really good at process drop out before they could learn a lot of the skills, and you need to feel confident in those moments, because artists need to feel confident, but not overdo it, I guess. I don't know. No, anyway, it's a class about everyone appreciating their own thing. Everyone gets individual feedback, and we all learn from each other. And then at the end, all of them except the one on Twitch have a little private variety show that nobody is invited to. It's sort of like that on Twitch, but come join, and then it won't be. Anyway, it's a great experience, and it's a great class, and everybody learns a lot from each other and feels appreciated, which fucking every person should feel. So no matter what they're doing, because guess what? Art doesn't have to be good to be art. Guess what? And a lot of times it's not. and guess what? You have to accept that, because that's where a lot of people who did get good came from.
So this sort of gives you the creative process from like not necessarily just a visual arts or just a musical arts, but just whatever you're doing that's creative, you're gonna hear
it's the instead of giving you fish and instead of teaching you how to fish, I'm saying, hey, these are tools that people use. You could probably make some else if you want. Like, I mean, fishing pools didn't always exist, right? Somebody made that. So here are tools that people currently use. If you want to get to something in a different way, I think you could do it. Ask me questions and I'll answer them as honestly as I can. And I think people grow from that. Like when you don't just tell them what to do, people grow from it.
Now, is this a class for people who are already established artists, or would it be a class
for anyone? Because everyone has feelings and emotions and places where art, no matter where you're at in terms of your journey within whatever, you still need to feel good about yourself. So that's, I think, the important part. I just think.
Well, that's awesome.
This sounds like Leticia gives compliments hour, which I would.
Oh yeah, and I give stickers. I give stickers. I do, and then I tie it in poetically.
So that's Creative Voice, and that's on Twitch. What is the channel they should look up?
Leticia like Patricia. It's how you say my name. It's also my Twitch account. So you go to Leticia like Patricia, Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is when I definitely start the Zoom call with the people in the class. Just know that if you're like, hey, Leticia's not on at 6. Oh, Leticia said 6. Maybe it's like 6:10.
I think everything on Twitch starts at that rate. All right, well, let's bring on our final contestant for tonight. It is Randie, everybody. Hey, Randie.
Hey.
Hello.
How's it
I just
going,
want to
Randie?
say I'm good. I just want to say that like listening to Leticia talk there just felt like church, and it was such an uplifting
Ooh.
message. So moved. All right. I just wanted to say that. It was lovely to listen to. Hello, everyone.
Well, we grew up in two very different churches. Nothing in the Irish Catholic Church that I was growing up in was like, it's really important that you feel good about yourself.
That's fair.
Randie, you took up a little pandemic hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
tell us about your house's family tree.
So I really am into genealogy. And for the past couple of years, I've been into genealogy for my own family. And then during the pandemic, I kind of got bored with looking at my own family. And I was just like, okay, let me look up somebody else's family. I wonder about the people that used to live in this house 100 years ago, this row house in West Philly 100 years ago.
It's like historical stalking.
Yeah, exactly. So it's okay. So yeah, I went back to the 1920s records, and I found the Flanard family. I guess that's how you say it.
Oh.
I was sort of like trying to look for like an interesting story, but they were just from Pennsylvania. Eugene was just from Pennsylvania. His parents were just from Pennsylvania. His parents before them were just from Pennsylvania. His wife was from Germany. And I started to like try to dig into Germany, but doing European records costs more money, and I'm not doing that. So so yeah, that's the whole exciting story. A bunch of Pennsylvanians and a couple of German and Irish people 100 years ago, and there we are. Yeah.
Hey, you may know more about the Flanards than anyone else in Philadelphia right now.
I have maybe another master's level person in this chat. Rob Cutler. Yeah, I'm master's in the Flanards. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you know like how old is your house?
I don't know how old. That was one of the questions that I also had to like, how old is this house? I don't know. I have to figure that out as well, but at least 100. So I guess, unless it was a different building here. That doesn't really, like a different, I don't know.
What about your family? You researched your own genealogy. Did you find out anything interesting on that?
What's interesting that I didn't already know? I mean, my favorite ancestor that I don't know anything about was just like a great or whatever grandfather that like used to be a whiskey salesman, and I just think that that's fun. I just think that that's a very cool. I don't drink a lot, so I don't know. That sounds fun to me. Like, how'd you get that job in whatever late 1800s in North Carolina, rural North Carolina? I don't know. It seems fun to me. Out of all the farmers and blacksmiths, he was a whiskey salesman. So
yeah. There's a period in history where being a whiskey salesman is like way more dangerous and interesting than any other part.
Yeah.
There's a book called Chasing the White Dog that is all about the trail of moonshine distillers from North Carolina all the way up to Philadelphia.
Huh.
and beyond.
Interesting.
It's really really good, and they get into some of the exploits of probably your whiskey salesman relative and some of the things.
Wait,
that
what
they
is it
got
called
into.
again?
Chasing the White Dog.
Chasing the White Dog. Okay, I'll have to look that up. Very good.
I was in bars when I was in Philly, drunk all the time. But no, I ran beverage programs and stuff like that when I was down there. So I've got a lot of booze knowledge. So I was really excited to hear him on the poetry episode.
Actually,
Everyone is excited about poetry, Rob.
Well, let's go ahead and get this show started. This poetry show started. This is round 1. Jack, be quick. We end crowders are currently in a Zoom room and have access to its chat function. I will be asking 7 questions as Vegas the Incorruptible monitors the chat room. The first one of our contestants to type a capital N for N crowd into the chat room after a question is asked will be allowed to give an answer.
That's right. But if you type, what is it? A lowercase n? That's the one. You lose 2 points. Because guess what? We're the capital N crowd, not the lowercase n crowd. Get out of here with your lowercase n. And if you type your letter before Mike finishes reading his question, you lose the ability to answer. Because that's just rude. So type your lettercase lower.
Lettercase.
Type
Upright.
N big after
It's a
Mike
letter
stop
case.
talk.
Wait.
That's why he's the scorekeeper here. And Vegas, you're going to be able to monitor the chat room for who?
Yup, I've got the chat open and I should be sharing my screen so you'll be able to see the questions that Mike is reading.
Awesome. Well, we've been talking about poetry, and one common technique in poetry is alliteration. So give an example of alliteration. Can be something that somebody's written before, something you just made up.
Rob, you were the first.
Alliterative anuses all access Algernon.
Using the same letter or sound at the start of adjacent or closely connected words. That is 3 points for Rob.
For alliteration. All right.
I was in a terrible musical called Awesome Alliteration, which taught me that backwards and forwards.
Oh, man. That sounds like a kind of Schoolhouse Rocky kind of thing.
Oh, yes. It thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually just heard the Stuff You Should Know podcast about Schoolhouse Rock, and it was very interesting.
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Expect
all right.
a Schoolhouse Rock question coming up in the next few.
Yeah. No, that's true. A lot of the podcasts I listen to get turned into trivia questions. Not this one, though, because question number 2, fingers on ends. Which planet in our solar system has the shortest day?
Rob, again, quick with the ends.
Mars?
No.
Oh,
Randie.
no.
Oh, minus 2 points for Randie for the lowercase n.
Oh, no.
Leticia, you buzzed in next.
Neptune.
That is also not correct. Okay, I'll let you with a capital N. I'll let you answer, Randie.
Is it Mercury?
It's not Mercury either. The answer will surprise you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
That thing's spinning out of control.
Yeah, it is.
It's the
It
biggest
is.
planet in the solar system and rotates in 9 hours and 55 minutes.
Wow.
That is, does it even have time to think about its actions?
I don't know what it's doing. And just if you're watching on the Twitch, I'll put the -2 for Randie in as soon as she has points to subtract from,
Wow.
because I'm afraid
Wow.
of breaking the score spreadsheet.
Thank you. Thank you so much for playing.
Well, Leticia, I'm with you. I mean, how can Jupiter even pretend to have an ounce of self-reflection when it's whirring around that fast?
Right. Get some help.
Yeah. Maybe you wouldn't have a big red spot, Jupiter.
Oh, see, but now you're just going right where Jupiter is at, Don't sink down to their level.
Don't compare me to Jupiter, Leticia. All right. Question number 3. Who is the only actor that has appeared on Star Trek to have EGOTed, having won the coveted Big Four awards, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony?
Rob, first again.
Whoopi Goldberg?
Great answer, because it's the right one. It was Whoopi Goldberg. She played Guinan on The Next Generation. And this was my favorite question of the night. We got to it early, Mike.
Oh.
So we've peaked.
Yeah, you can, everyone shut down your Twitch and turn off your YouTube.
Bye.
Well, I actually thought I would misdirect you guys. I thought somebody was going to go for Patrick Stewart on that one.
Yeah. I mean,
it's been a long quarantine. I've watched a lot of Next Generation, man.
Yeah, but Whoopi is one of the 16 people who have EGOTed.
wow.
There are 2 people who have PGOTed, and that's Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, and Peabody Award.
Listen, I'm feeling already really immature right now.
Is that journalist? What's the Peabody?
Sorry, not
Peabody.
Peabody. Not Peabody. Pulitzer.
Pulitzer.
That's journalism. Who acts and writes for the New York Times? You do both?
Yeah, that's a little.
Captain Type A.
What's that?
Captain Type A.
Captain
It's
Type A.
somebody who was like driven.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Parents are
that's
still
too
disappointed
many.
in it.
That's too many awards. Like, can we stop like holding up the
Yeah.
EGOT and the PGOT? Like, can we keep it simple? Can we simplify
Yeah.
just the
Can we
Also,
get
how'd you like to
Whoopi?
be that
The
person's
egg.
kid, brother, or sister?
God?
Oh, you're a neurosurgeon? Look at this.
Yeah. So you got a Grammy too. Great. Huh.
Well, I run a Nathan's hot dog franchise.
That would be me.
All right. Question number 4. Used as the name of a very well-known corporation, what does IBM stand for?
Rob, again, so fast.
Intelligent business machine?
No.
Ah,
Randie, you were second.
International business machine.
That is correct.
Yes.
no.
Now, my little fun fact for this is if you look at the alphabet, the letter before I is H, the letter before B is A, and the letter before M is L. So IBM becomes HAL. And IBM famously dropped out of funding 2001: A Space Odyssey without really saying why. And a lot of people think it was because Kubrick revealed that he was somehow doing some weird criticism of the IBM corporation.
Oh,
Computer.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't
Come
know,
on, Kubrick.
but
So was it named Hal before IBM dropped out of the movie?
It's a good question.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This could also be one of those Kubrickian tales that's like, dude, man, like the hotel in The Shining was actually a spaceship on the moon when he faked the moon landings, and so
That's one way to piss off IBM.
All right, question number 5. Moving right along. In 1985, a certain company opened its first location in Dallas, Texas. At its peak in 2004, this company had 9,094 locations across the globe and employed over 84,000 people. Currently, there is only one franchise left, and it is located in Bend, Oregon. What company am I talking about? And hint, their motto was, "Wow, what a difference."
Oh, sorry, Rob. You buzzed in before Mike finished reading his hint. Oh, but then you buzzed in first anyway after, and no one else. All right, go ahead.
It is Blockbuster Video.
It is Blockbuster Video. You're correct.
I just watched that documentary too.
For as much as you hate Connecticut, it gives you a lot of time to watch documentaries.
I thought that was a very interesting documentary about.
I did too. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Did you see anything else this week?
I'm watching Wild Wild Country. It's a good.
Oh, that's kooky. That's a crazy one. I just watched Murder Among the Mormons.
Ooh, that sounds like a good one.
Hint, there's Mormons.
Documentaries.
I just watched Something Great, which is not a documentary on Netflix, but it's a romantic comedy that still models itself closely after the romantic exploits of every 20-something American woman. So, there you go.
Oh,
what is this masterpiece?
It's a comedic film starring 3 great women on Netflix. No one died. Something
Do I have
great.
to buzz in?
I just wanted something to say, guys. Let's move on to the
All right. Thank you for the contribution, Randie. Question number 6. Which book is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the book most stolen from public libraries?
Rob again.
Damn, Rob is quick on the keyboard.
He is.
Catcher in the Rye?
It is not The Catcher in the Rye. Leticia.
The dictionary.
It's also not the dictionary. Randie, you want to take a shot?
Reluctantly pressing in. The Bible?
Not the Bible, unfortunately.
Is it a romantic comedy starring 3 women?
It is the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, that's
It's such an Inquisition question.
Oh,
It really is.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Leticia, go with your gut.
I read that as that's an Inquisition question. In other words, that's a question designed to piss people off.
I thought it was funny. I didn't think this one was rude to the contestants.
Some of them you think I'm being rude to them.
Sometimes it's like, oh, you made them think, and how dare you?
One of my favorite moments doing this show is when Nick wasn't even a contestant; he was just watching at home, and he like texted me during the show to be like, "These trick questions."
One more question in our Jack Be Quick round.
All right. Question number 7. King Henry VIII of England knighted 4 separate people for being his, quote, grooms of stool. What was their job?
Leticia.
To wipe the butt after they went to the bathroom.
You are correct.
It was actually very coveted because you would think it wouldn't, but you would get a lot of information from royalty during that time. They would be so you actually were looked up to in that time if you had that position.
Oh, if you're a stock trader,
Wow.
you getting the tips straight from the butt.
God help you if you get a hangnail, you are done.
No, but I would imagine you could be like, whispering to the royal spies, like, the king has been eating a lot of corn lately.
Yeah, but you also be like, I've been trying to make this treaty, but I can't get through the it could just be like, and then they have that eureka moment, they poop, and then you wipe them, and you're like, haha, I just witnessed this thing that other people might be interested for money.
Don't touch your face though. You did.
Yeah, don't touch your face.
Lord
Don't do
Pink
that.
Eye of Stinkington.
Yeah. Well, after that round, let's check in with our scorekeeper, Vegas the Incorruptible. How are these N Crowders doing?
Well, after that round, Rob's in the lead with 9 points, Leticia in second place with 3, and Randie with 1 single point, but it's truly anyone's game.
Well, this is where that pen and paper might come in handy. This is round 2, Deep Thought. These N Crowders have all made their own answer cards. They're going to be recording their answers on those cards, and we'll be checking what they've written later on in the show. Here is our first question. Vegas, I like to start out this round with some math.
I know you do.
All I'm going to ask you to do is name the highest prime number that you can think of. Highest prime number will earn 10 points. Second highest will earn 5 points. Lowest prime number will get 1 point, and no points for composite numbers.
Yeah, get composite numbers out of here.
Highly divisible. You can take a walk.
I don't even fucking think about composite numbers.
So Vegas, we usually banter to give them a little bit of time to think.
Okay. Boy, oh boy. How about that weather today? It was nice.
It was
You
perfect. I went on a 2-hour bike ride.
Damn.
Nice. And
I
then,
opened my windows.
and then I gave 2 coats of polyurethane to this wood thing that I'm making.
Ooh, some nice polyurethane. Hey.
Thanks. All right, that's enough time to think of prime numbers.
Was that good banter? I don't know that it was.
I don't even know anymore. I feel like I'm just spinning wildly in the darkness like I'm Jupiter or something.
Oh, spinning too fast. Too fast.
Gotta slow down. All right, question number 2 here. We've been talking about poetry in today's episode, so write a poem. It could be a rhyming couplet. It could be a limerick. If you want to bang out a sonnet, that's cool. But Vegas the Incorruptible has 10 points to distribute among the 3 contestants as he sees fit based on how much he enjoys each of your poems.
Yeah.
So all I have to do here is write a poem. And again, maybe we didn't mention it this episode, but these guys have until the final round of the game to work on this stuff. So it's not like they just have to come up with a poem right now. We could be talking about boring shit later on, and they could think, oh, I'll get back to working on that rhyme there.
Yeah, is this guy talking about polyurethane again? Time to work on my oh golly. That would have been a great.
Polyurethane sure brings out wood grain. Yeah. I just thought of that now.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding. I've been workshopping that for like 3 weeks.
I know it. I knew all this improv stuff was bullshit. There's no way. No way people just think of stuff. I don't believe it.
All right. Well, Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Our last question of the round. This is basically, we're talking so much about poetry. I think these are very poetic names for groups of animals. So we know that a group of wolves is a pack, a group of lions is a pride, a group of fish is a school. Earn 3 points for each animal you can match to its collective noun. So the animals we've got there are flamingos, owls, bison, ravens, frogs, and parrots. And the collective nouns are an unkindness, a parliament, a shiver, a flamboyance, an army, an obstinacy, and a pandemonium. I just find these names very like evocative and
They are
poetic. Like here are some other ones that I came up with this week. Not that I invented them. These are actually what they're called by like scientists and stuff. A stench of skunks.
appropriate.
A stingrays. A crash of rhinoceroses.
Ooh.
A prickle of porcupines. I like this one. A shadow of jaguars.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes me scared. A bloat of hippos.
Okay, sorry, hippos.
Yeah, kind of fat shaming you there, hippo.
Yeah, I mean they try not to focus on that so much, but okay.
Well, this is, I mean, if that's bad, a murder of crows.
Oh no!
I think that was the name of a something. Some band had an album called "A Murder of Crows," and
It
like,
was Incubus.
what was it?
Incubus.
Boy, oh boy, Rob.
Oh, do I get points for that?
Yes, Leticia, you get points for the answer that Rob just had.
Yes.
It's a weird show, but that's
glad
how it
I
works.
asked. I'm so glad I asked.
It pays to ask. It pays to ask. That's good.
Well, here's the last one that I came across. A conspiracy of lemurs.
Yeah, those guys are always up to something.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've given these guys enough time to think about their poems and their prime numbers and their collective nouns. So hold on to those answer cards. Continue working on your poems and your prime numbers throughout the show. But right now, let us go to round 3, the mystery round.
Mystery round. A mystery round. What?
This round is different every episode, so the contestants will never know what they have to deal with. And this week, the mystery round is called Scavenger Hunt. It's a scavenger hunt. We're going to give you a list of categories, and the contestants will have about 2 or 3 minutes to collect items that fit that category from around their homes and return in front of the camera. We will then review their booty and award 3 points for each item that Vegas feels fits into the category. Only one object per category. However, you may use an object to fit into multiple categories. So just to be clear on that, I don't think we need to share screen here.
Oh, I was gonna share what the categories are.
Oh,
things
okay.
they need to bring to us.
Okay. Well, yeah, just to clarify that last point. So each category, you can only have one object for that. But if you used like this pen for category number 1, you could also use this pen for category number 2. But you couldn't say for category number 1, this pen and this cell phone here for category. Only one object per category, but the objects may be used for multiple categories. Vegas, why do we only have about 2 or 3 minutes?
Because while you're looking for objects to bring back to us, we are going to really cram this episode's theme down everyone's throat, and Mike and I are going to recite the poem "Anyone Lived in a Pretty How Town" by E.E. Cummings.
Nice.
And while we're reading that, we want you to find for us something useful in a hurricane, something associated with someone famous, something solid, something flimsy, something sneaky, and the best thing.
Wait, all I want, what?
You got to find one thing for each of those categories.
Okay.
And
Okay.
remember, you can use one object for more than one category. So if
Okay.
something solid is also useful in a hurricane, then you just
Yeah.
have 2 categories.
Oh, like a hurricane shelter.
Ooh,
Mhm.
yeah. If you can drag a hurricane shelter up to wherever you are right now.
Rob's already
Okay.
off. Kind of
right.
cheating,
Oh,
but I
what?
guess you two can go too.
Okay.
All right. So Vegas, we're going to recite this poem by modernist poet E.E. Cummings. This is one that I had a class on modernist poetry in college, and I always really liked this.
Yeah, and remember not to put any punctuation in your speech, because that wouldn't be what E.E. Cummings writes.
I mean, the dude doesn't even capitalize stuff a lot of the times. He's crazy.
Do you want to start with the first verse?
Sure.
Of anyone lived in a pretty how town.
All right. Anyone lived in a pretty how town with up so floating many bells down, spring, summer, autumn, winter. He sang his didn't, he danced his did.
Women and men, both little and small, cared for anyone not at all. They sowed their isn't, they reaped their same. Sun, moon, stars, rain.
Children guessed, but only a few, and down they forgot as up they grew. Autumn, winter, spring, summer, that no one loved him more by more.
When by now and tree by leaf, she laughed his joy, she cried his grief. Bird by snow and stir by still, anyone's any was all to her.
Someone's married their everyone's, laughed their cryings and did their dance, sleep, wake, hope, and then they said their nevers, they slept their dream.
Stars, rain, sun, moon, and only the snow can begin to explain how children are apt to forget to remember with up so floating many bells down.
One day anyone died, I guess, and no one stooped to kiss his face. Busy folk buried them side by side, little by little, and was by was.
All by all and deep by deep, and more by more they dream their sleep. No one and anyone, earth by April, wish by spirit, and if by yes.
Women and men, both dong and ding, summer, autumn, winter, spring, reaped their sowing and went there came sun, moon, stars, rain.
And that's a poem by E.E. Cummings. You're cultured now, audience. And before we find out what objects our contestants brought back, let's say a big thank you to X28 Project, who donated $20, and K8 Isger8311, who donated $10. Thank you both so much.
Whoa.
That's how our show is run. We can't sell tickets right now, so if you enjoy our Friday night stuff, give us some money, please. Joe Godo donated $3.14, presumably in a reference to that great number pi. Thanks, Joe Godo. All right, let's find out what objects everyone brought back, and I will award points for each category to the person who brought back the most fitting object.
All right, so we're going to start out here with, we're going to go through each of your objects for each category, and Vegas will give out points based on it. So the first category is something useful in a hurricane. Rob, you're contestant number 1. What did you get?
I have this magnetic light. Oh God, that's gonna black it out. There's a magnet on the bottom, so it can stick to anything, and pretty bright.
All
That's
right.
my hurricane object.
All right.
Useful in a hurricane.
Leticia, what did you get for something useful in a hurricane?
So I have this steel container which can hold water, but also has a separate thing for coffee. But honestly, it works. This is so waterproof. You could bring safe water to drink, and it's gonna tumble around. It doesn't matter. It's lightweight on purpose, but it's super durable.
Oh, waterproof is useful in a hurricane to keep all that hurricane water out.
Randie,
Oh, you want to have fresh water?
Randie, what do you got that would be helpful in a hurricane?
I have this world's best bowler trophy from my church youth league. And it's useful because when the hurricane is coming, you just show it your world's best bowler trophy and just show it who's boss. Like you can't do anything to me, hurricane, because I'm the world's best bowler. Like we can both throw weight around here, okay? So that's
That's pretty good.
Oh, I really like the way you were selling that, but I'm gonna give it to Rob for the flashlight because it just seems like it would actually be useful in a hurricane.
all right.
Well, Vegas, oh no, you don't have points to assign for this one.
There's just 3 points per category.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right.
Never mind. I'm a terrible host.
No, you're great. Everybody loves you. Joe Godo donated $3.14 a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, terrible host?
Sure.
I'm amazed that out of all the bowling organizations in the world, the one who could give out the world's best is Randie's church.
That's a good point. World's best is a big award.
Yeah.
My church was major. So I like that.
Our next category is something associated with someone famous.
I just want to point out before we do that again, another difference between Randie's church and the one that I grew up in is we would have a "So you think you're pretty hot at bowling" trophy. All right, so something associated with someone famous. We'll start off this time with Leticia. What do you got?
I got this scarf I got at an actual show of my favorite band, Subhumans, which is an 80s UK punk band who still tours, and I've seen over 20 times.
Ooh, boy. Well, I'm not going to make fun of a band that you like that much. That's awesome.
Randie, what do you got?
I have my most recent album purchase. It's Red Fox's Fun album. Thank you, Philly AIDS Thrift. And it's Red Fox. We're all old enough to know who that is. Sanford and Son. Not thankfully this isn't a show filled with Gen Z, then I'd be kind of ass out talking to myself. But lots of fun jokes about cheating on your wife. So yeah.
All right. I like that. I think Red Fox is a particularly good one to have on vinyl because that was such a big part of his career as being. All right, very cool. And Rob, what do you got? Something associated with someone famous?
I mean, I kind of blew some of the stuff in my intro, so I had to pull a different project, but I have Dr. Doom's mask. So that's right here. I mean, he's famous. He's Dr. Doom.
He is.
This also could be useful in a hurricane or a purge. Just pleading my case.
I like all of those objects. I'm gonna give it to Red Fox because shout out to Philly AIDS Thrift. That's a great store.
All right. Next up, we have something solid. We're gonna start out with Randie. What do you got?
Ooh, of the random things that I chose. Lotion, hand lotion. It's soft. Like, get your moisturization solid on solid ground. Don't play game. It's lotion, dependable. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that, Rob.
I'm going back to Nick Offerman as a wood block. That's not going anywhere. As solid as it can be.
What kind of wood is it?
Wood. That's all you need to worry about.
All right, Leticia, what do you got that's solid?
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Leticia.
Interesting.
This is when you know Leticia has
so-
something really awesome.
I'd like to show you this stainless steel vacuum insulated treble coffee French press, which also doubles as a water bottle. And I would just like to tell you something straight from their product site, which is world's lightest travel press. Become a savvy, no hassle coffee traveler with the lightest travel press on the market. Brew and sip cafe worthy coffee anywhere, but also friends for life, built durably to brew for life.
Durably.
For life.
Durable is synonyms with solid. But in this round, I'm going to give it to the Nick Offerman head, which I believe has the greatest average density of all the items. The outer edges of the stainless steel cup, pretty solid, but the inside of it, totally gaseous or sometimes liquid.
That's offensive.
And the moisturizer lotion, pretty liquid. Sorry, Randie.
I don't feel on solid ground if I'm ashy, but my interpretation.
All right, well, let's go to something flimsy, and this time we're starting back off at Rob.
Okay. Flimsy is this marionette of Count Chocula.
Jesus Christ.
I may have had the deck stacked for this one. He's pretty flimsy, as I did a terrible job making it.
Rob, do you ever get because
No.
Well, I was gonna say I worked in a puppet theater for many years, and I often would my ladies that I was meeting on Tinder or OkCupid would often have me in their phone as Mike the Puppet Guy.
I've not dated since arriving in Connecticut. I hope to one day just be in someone's phone. Like, screw the TikTok. Like, hit my DMs. Please. Connecticut is a lonely place for a puppeteer. Squawk. Who donated $3.14? I will pay you back, please.
You're the way.
Yeah, don't do it, Joe.
All right, so the flimsy thing there is Rob's grasp on sanity. Leticia, what flimsy thing do you have?
So I was gonna suggest this toilet paper, but then apparently it's this. It's just
you were so close to saying something flimsy, but then you pulled out the coffee cup again.
Just turns out you've convinced me. Everything you keep saying just keeps going against all the positive things I think about this. So I guess this is just a flimsy piece of shit.
Oh, whoa. Well, we'll see what Randie has to show us in the category of flimsy things.
Randie, what do you got?
I have a children's book, a flimsy children's book.
Ah.
The little old lady who was not afraid of anything. So it's a flimsy thing with an empowering message.
Ooh.
Yeah, we don't need to be afraid when we're old. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about that. So yeah.
Oh, well, that's great. Rob, I like your Count Chocula, but I'm not going to describe something you made as low quality. Sorry. And Leticia, oh boy, even despite its sometimes gaseous, sometimes liquid contents, I wouldn't call the cup flimsy.
When is there gas in here?
The air that's in it when it's empty.
Like I'm trying to trap air in here.
I mean, it's always in there unless you're in a vacuum. Randie, it's your book. Your book was the flimsiest thing I saw.
All right, next up we have something sneaky. This goes to Leticia first.
This paperclip.
Ooh.
Or is it no? Is the paperclip. This can be used for many things, many things, and it could be molded. And if you literally bring it and it's on some papers that are currently being held together by it, then it's even more sneaky.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Randie, what do you have that's sneaky?
I have this is a tube of perfume. The label is in French. I don't exactly know what the translation is. Maybe leather, maybe wood. But it's sneaky because, you might not smell it till you get close to me. And then when we come in for a hug, it's like, surprise. I smell like a cheap kiosk in Paris in a train station. And that's exactly where it's from. So yeah.
Oh, I like
And
it.
I use it all the time.
It's sneaky because it's a sort of like, ha, gotcha scent.
Now you have to smell me. Ha ha.
You do. And maybe carry me with you some of the day.
I do that, but it's because my faint scent of urine, it's not overwhelming.
You need a stool night. You need a stool to like wipe that off or whatever.
Yeah.
Like get a.
I wonder if the grooms of stool jiggled the royal cock to get those last few drips of.
I mean, they certainly could have padded it.
Yeah,
Could have padded the end a little bit. Just got that little end.
But
part.
what was the headsman to do then?
All right, Rob, what's the sneaky thing that you have?
I've got two. I've got these little eyes that have been sneaking into frame for the last couple minutes. But this is the more sneaky one, which is Soviet Superman Red Sun, who is sneakily introducing the values of communism into American society. I am grasping at straws. But if that doesn't work for you, I have this water bottle that is very sneaky.
Oh, I kind of want to give it to the water bottle. That's a good looking.
Oh!
It has a Puppet Arts logo on it.
No. Mike spent a lot of time explaining at the beginning that you couldn't have more than one object in a cat. Like a really long time explaining that rule. I'm gonna give it to Leticia's paperclip because I really expected the coffee cup to be your item, and the paperclip it snuck up on me.
See?
But Superman Red Sun, great comic. Recommend it to everybody.
All right, well then we have simply the best thing that you could present. And we're starting with Randie this time.
Okay, I have another album purchased from Philly AIDS Thrift. It's the Claudine soundtrack with Gladys Knight and the Pips. And if you're trying to tell me that Gladys Knight and the Pips aren't the best thing, then you need to walk out of my life. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk. I don't need this group. I don't need the Inquisition. I don't need the N crowd. I don't need Zoom friends. All right. That's it. The end.
Oh boy, I don't like that threat.
Yeah. It's not a Gladys Knight and the Pips CD either. That's vinyl.
Yeah, you really be listening to some vinyl.
I actually haven't listened to it yet, but that's not the point.
Oh, okay.
The principle.
Rob, what do you have that's the best thing?
I have to turn off my background in order to show this because that will not work. All right.
That insane man behind you.
I have this framed picture of Gritty with Philadelphia Come As You Are, recreating the Nirvana Nevermind cover, chasing a Philly soft pretzel.
Oh, I do love Gritty and Nirvana and Philadelphia.
I understand if you go Claudine instead. It makes sense.
Oh boy, I don't know. I don't want Randie to quit the show in the middle of it.
Well, let's see what Leticia has.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Subhumans, but they are like one of the best existing ever bands of all time. And they are real and they are human and they portray themselves that way. And they are still touring somehow. And fucking also it's a scarf and
Ooh,
it
useful in a hurricane.
It was, I know, I almost used it for that, but then I thought this thing was like I read the wrong part of that review thing. Anyway, this is also a legitimately well-made scarf. Okay.
Yeah,
This is like super like warm and long, and just like look at how many times. Like I am
Doing a third
my
time.
whole everything is covered. Also, look at this fucking design, which is one of the best Subhumans designs, which calls back to fucking When the Country Died, which is one of their albums, which talks about fucking people taking over fucking shit, but you ain't taking that shit. Listen up. You're not going to take that shit. There's never a good time to take shit.
Oh, keeps you warm during a hurricane? That is sneaky because it's surprising me with all these facts about it. It's flimsy in that it's made of cloth, but solid in that it's well constructed and associated with someone famous. If you're Leticia, I think that Subhuman scarf might be the best thing. Oh, was gonna give it to your record, Randie, but now that I know you haven't listened to it, I'm not sure if it's a record at all. And I really
Randie,
like that.
do you
Gritty
know?
poster.
Do you know Friendship Train?
Do I know Friendship Train? No, I don't know them.
Because it's no. I mean, Friendship Train, the song by Gladys Pip and the Knights.
Now I'm showing my Pip deficiencies.
Oh, because it's one of my favorite songs. On the Friendship Train, everybody. Okay, it's good.
That's a nice
from
scarf,
the
though.
Buddha group.
Pleasure from the Buddha group.
All right.
Would this have done better, Vegas?
No, I like the Gritty Nirvana.
What is that, a Banksy
cheesesteak
thing?
quite a bit.
I'm going to put my green screen back up now. While we
Oh, look, it's James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll.
Wow.
Damn.
So sweet.
They're kissing. They're almost kissing. They're real close to it.
Pretty close. They're officially kissing. Like, technically.
All right. Well, after that game, Vegas how do the scores look?
Well, let's take a look. It looks like everyone got 6 points, winning. Everyone won 2 categories. So, Randy, you've got 7 points total. Leticia, you've got 9, and Rob, you have 15.
All right, anybody's game. And that brings us to our final round of competition before checking those deep thought answer cards to see which one of these end crowders will triumph and which will wither in shame. We know what you've been thinking. What's it like to have sex with the end crowd? Well, we're going to show you in round 4, Sex with Me.
Sex with me, 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 yeah.
To all the folks in the Twitch chat room, we're going to be asking for suggestions of nouns, objects, persons, places, or things. So start typing those now. The contestants are going to turn those suggestions into bawdy jokes. Vegas, the incorruptible, will award you a point per joke.
That's right. And if your joke's really a banger, you might just get 2 points. But if it isn't a joke, it's just words. Well, no points for that. That's how Sex with Me works. And just so you know, Rob, our friend Squawk25 says that they are in Connecticut and might put you in their phone, but that's probably as far as it would go.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. Well, we know that Squawk25 isn't thinking about sex with us.
Well, let's take a suggestion from the first one I saw in the chat. Knee-high boots.
Knee-high boots. Sex is me is like sex with knee-high boots. Sorry, do I have to buzz in or anything, or just
No, it's just
okay,
jump
it's
in.
just, open play. All right, sex with me is like sex with knee-high boots. Far more popular in dark areas that have not been cleaned in years. I don't know. I got nothing.
Sex with me is like sex with knee-high boots. You consider them a few times because they could be useful, but then it just seems like only useful for one thing.
Walking.
Sex with me is like sex with knee-high boots. It looks better in the movies.
Sex with me is like sex with neon boot.
Neon boots.
Neon knee-high boots. Which one is higher, the top or the bottom?
Huh? Anybody?
Sex with me is like sex with knee-high boots. Not worth the chafing. I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll get a new one, except that I just got to say that sex with me is like knee-high boots. You got to break them in first. And sex with me is like sex with knee-high boots, all about that leather. Vegas, what do you got?
Let's move on to there's so many suggestions. Suspenders.
That sex with me is like sex with suspenders. They're supposed to keep your pants up.
Sex with me is like sex with suspenders. Robin Williams made it famous. Too soon?
Sex with me is like sex with suspenders for stylish gentlemen. Right?
Oh, you're right.
The height of fashion, suspenders.
Sex with me is like sex with the suspenders. Sometimes you gotta get just a little bit sharp to stay in the right place.
just, just a little bit of sharp.
Sex with me is like sex with suspenders, usually a rental.
Oh, and sex with me is like sex with suspenders because I'm always putting 2 thumbs in there. I'm gonna grab another.
Sex with me is like sex with suspenders because we'll find something else to use that belt for.
I'm gonna take since Rob is here, Muppets.
I plead the fifth. I've got too much practice with this.
You just don't want to
sex-
get recorded and ruin your future with the Jim Henson Company.
That's the
Sex
Disney
with
Corporation.
me, sex with me is like sex with Muppets. Just seems so unrealistic in the moment, but it really hits close to home in a lot of ways.
Sex with me is like sex with the Muppets, playing on nostalgia to get the best of you, but it doesn't really pay off. Sex with me is like sex with the Muppets. You're not really sure if it's a hand job or a blow job.
Sex with me is like sex with Muppets. You didn't know how you felt about them till you were in it.
Sex with me is like sex with the Muppets. Just don't forget to take care of the guy underneath me.
Sex with me is like sex with a Muppet. Not too good for a trash can.
Sex with me is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I said a couple of times.
I thought you had it.
Okay, thank you. Related to Muppets, sex with me is like sex with a Muppet. You don't intend for it to look that way.
Is there an ending to that? I don't want to step on it.
I think she nailed
All
it.
right. Sex with me is like sex with a Muppet. Brought to you by the letter R.
Oh, and sex with me is like the Muppets. There's always 2 old guys watching and criticizing.
Well, sex with me is like the Muppets, deeply felt.
Sex with me is, I got to get this one in. Sex
Okay.
with me is like sex with a Muppet. When I get real excited, I go, yeah!
All right, because we're coming up on time, I'm gonna cut us off there. That was sex with me. Thank you.
But you guys didn't get to check out my big bird. All right. So Vegas, do you have an update on scores after that round?
Well, yes. After that round, Rob really played the volume game, which is the way to win at Sex with Me. When you add all the scores up, our totals are Randie with 10, Leticia with 15, and Rob with 25. So big lead for Rob. Doesn't mean someone can't pull from behind with deep thought, because there's a lot of points to be awarded in our last round.
Then let's go to our last round of the night. All that's left is to go over the contestants' deep thought answer cards. So let's check those answers.
Let's check those answers.
All writing utensils must be out of the contestants' hands. Folks in the chat room, help us out. These answers should be finalized by now. So if you see any of these rascals scribbling something, name and shame. If it takes deducting points to keep folks honest, then so be it.
That's what we'll do.
All right. So our first one, we just wanted you to say what is the highest prime number that you can think of. A prime number is, of course, any number that is only divisible by 1 and itself, like the number 7. You can't divide that by 2. You can't divide it by 3. Only 1 and 7. So we're going to go to contestant number 1, which is Rob. Rob, what did you get for your highest prime number?
Optimus at Coachella or 367?
All right.
I love a good Transformers joke.
I didn't get the Transformers joke, but
Oh, baby, come on.
Optimus
you know
Prime?
Optimus
Whoa,
Prime.
baby.
What's the highest Optimus Prime at Coachella? That's the highest he's ever been.
I get
All
it.
sparkable.
All right, Leticia, what is your prime number?
Okay, so there were several parts to this question, right? Hey, can I give my whole answer to this several part question?
Sure.
Is it a water bottle?
No,
Okay.
thank you. But
No,
thank
it's
you
a
for
coffee mug.
assuming.
I didn't assume. It's why I
you know
asked.
me.
I don't know you. This is the first time we've met. I'm flattered to be incorporated on this panel. I don't know you.
What is the answer?
Okay. So don't judge me. My answer is 13. Also,
Okay.
I wrote after that, I wrote second number, and then I wrote third number. If you could just give me credit for it. And this is just me trying to make sure that you could see the ink in the camera.
Yeah. Right.
That ended it. Yeah.
Let me pin your screen so I can read that number and put it into this is this number prime calculator.
That.
Six,
Fact
5,
check it.
9, 3, 7, 4, 3, 2, 9.
I will say that
9,
while
9,
Vegas is doing
9,
that,
1, 2,
the two numbers we have had submitted are both prime.
Oh no, that's a 9. Is that a 9? Oh, I'll say it's a 9. 2, 3, 3, 6, 4, 5,
As
8,
everyone's families.
3, 6.
We don't talk anymore. The puppet school decision.
They're, you know, they're happening, they're going on. Everybody has their separate but together lives. And you know, we're working through it. Everybody, you know, let's all get through this.
I'm trying to reconnect with my other side of my family. We don't talk much. It's the Flanders, never mind. I was trying to
Okay.
connect
Is this
back
real?
to the intros.
Is
I
this
couldn't
real?
remember the
Oh,
No,
name.
okay.
it was a good shot. The flip.
So the prime number calculator at calculatorsoup.com can only calculate up to
I love that your
13
first
digits.
choice is calculator
Listen,
soup.
I mean, the
But-
calculator's weakness is not my fault.
Here's the
I-
thing. You didn't give us an even number, so it might be prime as far as I know. And there's an infinite number of prime numbers. I'm going to give it to you. I can't prove you wrong.
Wow. Okay.
Thank
Randy's
you.
number is the highest prime number. Rob, 367, which you said isn't prime.
No, it is. It is.
Actually is. So second highest prime number we've seen. And 13, you get a point for that, Leticia.
Prime
Great
number.
job, everyone.
Yeah.
But I was right. That's the best part. And
You
the
were
most
right.
important.
And so was Randy? Maybe.
Everyone was right.
Have more faith in me. All right, let's
I
not
think
lift a
everyone
definitive
was right.
sentence.
I think
Yeah.
And I
everyone
think
was
we should
right.
all be very proud of ourselves.
At the end
Proud
of the
all of
day,
you.
our pride is what matters.
No, our pride in each other. Wait, because not pride in ourselves, that's not looked very highly.
Right.
All right. Well, now we asked you to write a poem. Basically, it didn't matter. We didn't put any constraints on you. We just wanted a poem by this point in time, and so we're gonna go to our contestant number 2 first, which is Leticia, to recite her poem.
Thank you. This is my poem. If ever I knew how to write a rhyme, then never would I just run out of time. I never wanted to be good, but now I can't be understood. And now I have to not punch a mime. Mimes are people too.
Snap applause, everyone.
You start with the creative writing professor. This is setting the bar high.
I liked that it had rhymes. That's what makes a poem to me.
Oh no.
Randie, let's hear your poem.
Okay. I went with what I think is a haiku. 575, is that how that goes?
Yep.
Okay. Here we are. Identity theft. It's really not a big deal. Just steal a new name.
And so evocative of nature in the Japanese tradition.
I mean, yeah, they're on it. It's highly observant culture.
Best thing I've ever heard.
Mhm.
I feel like that's something I could meditate on for many, many hours.
What
Like an ASMR video.
What is a name? Like what is the self? Like steal your identity. What is an identity? You know what I mean? Like take it apart, people. You know what I'm saying?
Poem within a poem. It's just so I can't.
Don't let the government trick you into thinking that you are, you know, these superficial, a social security number, an address, a bank account. It's irrelevant.
Well, in that case, let's go to our final contestant for this. That would be Randie.
Hi.
Wait, what?
I am an active listener. I heard the message. I was inspired by it. And I have taken a new name. But my poem, there once was a man named Vegas, whose cat collection did make him famous. With a temple of boom and a feeling of gloom, I hope he finds this poem the greatest.
Oh, that was about me.
It was.
Oh, playing to the referees' interests. Oh, I guess that does make sense in this question where it's up to me, which I like the best. I thought ahead of time that because I'm no judge of art, I would just hand out points based on length. Because if the Snyder Cut has told us anything, that's what makes things good, is making them longer. So Rob and Leticia, you both had 5-line poems. So I'll give you 4 points each, and Randie, I'll give you 2 points for that 3-line poem.
Wow.
All right. Okay. And then finally, we said a group of wolves is a pack, a group of lions is a pride, a group of fish is a school. Earn 3 points for each animal you can match to its collective noun. All right. Randie, we're going to start off with you for this one. And I would just say, with a little bit of experience hosting this show, to not just rattle through them super fast, because Vegas isn't a machine and needs time to check your answers.
I'm in fact less good at doing things than an average human, I would say.
So, Randie, what did you get for this one?
Okay, I just wanted to provide an update, just to show that I follow my own philosophy. My name is World's Best Bowler, so please continue to refer to me as such.
Yes,
All right.
you're right.
Okay, we apologize. World's best bowler.
Thank you. Thank you very
minute.
much.
My
All
bad.
right. So I went with a flamboyance of flamingos, an army of owls. They seem kind of militant to me. They seem serious, like they'll handle business. I went with an obstinacy of bison. You know, they're sturdy. They have sturdy shoulders. I went with an unkindness of ravens because it sort of reminded me of the murder of crows, and so it's just sort of like seems like and you know, an unkind, like they're cousins, so you know, being unkindly murdering, that seems like it fits to me. Did I do a thing for frogs? We'll get back to that. A shiver of parrots. They're jittery. You know, they shiver the feathers. A pandemonium of sharks, which is a little unfair because sharks are maligned. Like they're actually just pretty chill creatures. But I think that a biased early science community might have, you know, given them a chaotic name because of early misperceptions. And since I didn't use it, we'll say a parliament of frogs. I think that works. Not parliament so much as like royalty, but like a funky parliament. Frogs are really funky. And they have like really great colors, you know, which is another reason why we need to save them. Like save the rainforest, don't deplete their environment.
All right, I love it. Rob, what did you get?
I'm sorry, I'm going by fuck sharks now.
Wow.
I have Vegas. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
A flamboyance of flamingos,
Uh-huh.
a parliament of owls,
Uh-huh.
an obstinacy of bison,
Okay.
an unkindness of ravens, an army of frogs.
Uh-huh.
A pandemonium of parrots,
Okay.
and a shiver of sharks.
All right. And Leticia.
So here's what I found during this question is that there's a lot of psychological things going on in my mind, which make me answer differently than probably what the right answer would be because I'm like getting defensive.
This is a judgment-free zone.
Except for
At least
sharks.
This question is.
I could be more truthful right now. I like felt defensive during this. I was like, why would they be considered an account? Okay, so here's the thing. It's like immediately I thought flamingos. No, I'm not gonna say flamboyance. That's offensive. That's my first thought, right? Then I think
Can I just
ravens.
get offensive to whom?
I don't know. Don't ask me further questions, please. Can we? We're just staying on what comes out of my mind.
Okay.
Don't ask me any more questions deeper into these, please. Okay, so the other one is ravens, which I immediately thought, no, they don't deserve an unkindness. This is what I'm saying, is I'm realizing shit about myself during this. But like, I'm like, they don't deserve to be called an unkindness. I'm going to say it's an obstinacy because I don't know what that means. And it sounds like abstinence. And I feel like that's how they feel. You know, like they need to be abstinent. Like all of a sudden you feel like it's too much of them. But guess what? They're fucking smart. But
Right.
get off their back. So then there's bison, which I chose shiver for. And I don't have any real reason. Oh, actually, I had originally written ravens and then crossed it out for Shiver, and then wrote frogs, and then crossed it. I didn't cross it out. I just put bison on top of it. So I'm not really sure if I meant bison or frog for Shiver, but I have to go with bison based on my crossed out thing. If I'm following the routine that I was taking as far as which. So
Go on.
those are, I wrote owls, but I didn't write anything next to it. And I don't want to be untruthful. I don't want to lie to you and say that like I had other things written down, because I could have just told you answers, right? Based on the rest of the list, because I'm looking at the list, but I just feel so strongly that I shouldn't be untruthful to you.
Well, I think you actually got that one right. It is, a pride of lions, a murder of crows, and of owls.
Thank you.
What's truly fascinating to me, and we'll move on to, I'll display what the answers are here. But in everything where you said, I don't want to answer it this way because that makes me feel bad, was a correct answer that you chose not to pursue. Also remarkable, Rob Cutler, you got all of them right.
I saw a TikTok last night that literally was just a list of animal group names, and like 5 of these were on there.
You were doing flashcards of the answers before the show.
That really, I was working for the animals on this one.
Yeah,
Like,
you saw
I
me.
feel like pretty much these are not good associations at all. Some of these are straight up messed up.
Wait, where is Shark?
Messed up. Yeah, where is Shark?
Yeah,
Sharks are not even in there.
Sharks
are left
I
out
veto this
completely.
question. I veto this question on the basis that Sharks has been left off.
Sharks were
final
a
tally.
Shiver, and it appears it is present, but it's below.
This shark bias is showing in the present day.
Below the slide because of the size of text I used. Anyway, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Randie, you got 3 of them right.
It was a
points
shiver.
each for
Shiver
9.
sharks.
Rob, you got 7 right, which got you 21 points. And listen,
Leticia, you showed.
So look,
a lot
I'm
of
used to people
integrity.
having things to say before they tell me the truth. Just tell it to me. Just tell it to me. I know I have emotions. Just give it to me.
Leticia, you didn't get any right, but I really liked the perspective you brought to that question. I think it's something for all of us, especially academics who name groups of animals, to think about.
Word.
Yeah,
Fucking word.
we don't
Y'all
want.
know what the birthing process of an alpaca is called? It's an
Oh.
unpacking.
Oh,
I'm not kidding.
that's
It's
really
called
funny.
an unpacking.
Nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Behold, your winner. Is Rob Cutler. You got 55 points. You're ahead all game, and just like doubled your score with our last question. Leticia, great job. You scored 22 or 29. Randie, you scored 22. But you're both hilarious. And Rob, I hope you can join us when we have 2 more winners to bring back. Mike, can you start talking? I forget how the words go.
It'll basically be like another month from now, and Rob, we'll hope you come back and play a championship round again.
I'd love to. It's not like I have a life, so I'm happy to do this.
Awesome. Well, congratulations then to Rob. We also want to say thanks to Karen, the N Crowd's artistic director, for running tech for us tonight. Watch her make art live at twitch.tv/karma_art studio. That's twitch.tv/karma_art studio. We also just want to plug that this Tuesday, usually the End Crowd gets together and does a rehearsal on Zoom.
Yep,
But this
yep.
Tuesday, we're like, fuck it. We're gonna do a reading of an episode of Lois and Clark where only one person on the cast will, or sorry. So everybody will have, will be on book. We'll have a script.
Yeah. It's
And only one person will be off book and have to improvise their way through this script. We did it before. It was a lot of fun. This is going to be a Lois and Clark episode, which is really going to be nostalgic for me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really looking forward to this. So that'll be Tuesday. Join us here. After this, we're going to raid another channel. So
stick with us.
Yeah, so stick around here. And since we've been talking about poetry, we'll leave you with a quote from Dudley Moore on the subject. He said, "Not everyone who drinks is a poet. Some of us drink because we're not poets. Yes, and some of us drink because it's Friday night and we're hanging with the End Crowd. Good night, folks. Woo!
Come on back Tuesday night at 8:00. That show is going to be really, really fun. I guarantee.
Before that, go Thursday night at 6 p.m.
Drunk by now. Drunk